look at the ECOWAS membership, only 2 countries have not had coups. Only Cape Verde and Senegal. So you can understand the quagmire ECOWAS finds itself in. Credibility crisis, lacking the moral right. All of these countries, when coups happen, the Nigerians will tell you, why was there not an intervention? If you do the counting, since ECOWAS was established in 1975, there has been about 126 coups. Over the last 3 years, there have been 6 coups already. 2 in Mali, 2 in Burkina Faso. So there's a real credibility crisis. And this attempt to now say, you see, we must be hardlined, we must use force, and that will serve as a deterrent. I am afraid. I take a totally different view. I do not think that military intervention is what will stem the tide. Rather, they should look at the causative factors. All of this bad leadership, people using democracy to entrench themselves, to kill their people. Look at how many opposition leaders have been imprisoned in Senegal, how many protesters have been shot in Senegal by a democratically elected leader. Look at the state of unemployment on the continent. Look at the state of corruption. Niger, if you look at all the UN multidimensional poverty analysis, is below the ladder, the poorest, and yet they have uranium. Yet they have this pipeline which others are leveraging to advance their economic interests. And the masses, will you believe that about 80% of the people in Niger don't have access to electricity? Can you believe that? Basic amenities. And only a few elites enjoy. Once they go into these negotiations and their family cronies get a good piece of the pie, the rest can go to hell. Then the elephant in the room, if you look at this new wave of coups, they are all happening in Francophone Africa. We must be honest to have a discussion about the French hegemony in the sub-region. This Charles de Gaulle pact must give way. There is great resentment on the continent against this influence of France. As we all say, the French never left. The Brits, if you look at the decolonization, the disengagement, they left fully, we became Republican status and all of that. You can't say the same of the French. And the masses are rebelling. One factor that these ECOWAS leaders haven't considered is look at the level of popularity. If anybody tells you that these coups are not popular, look, I have friends in Niger. I have done my own independent analysis because I know that during these times there's a lot of propaganda. Talk to people on the ground, talk to ordinary people. It was the same in Mali, the same in Burkina Faso. So what is democracy really? Isn't it about what the masses want, what the majority want? So we must have a discussion about that French hegemony. And France itself, and I noticed that in the early days of President Macron, he tried to offer a new partnership, some new framework, but he has not been deep and far-reaching. That discussion must be held. Look at the demonstration in Niger and the chants. But I must add, though, that in as much as a Pan-Africanist, I am against any form of oppression, any form of colonization. I denounce what is happening now, where people are chanting down with France and yet are flying Russian flags. Don't move from one master to another. We must find a Pan-African solution to our economic crisis. We must have an African solution.